Hello, everybody. Well, welcome to today's episode of the Empower Moms Coffee Break. We're so excited to have you with us today. We got some juicy stuff to talk about on the show today. So this is going to be a very interesting and I'm sure a very passionate conversation all around, from the hot topic to the actual topic that we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves. My name is Monet. I'm the mama coming to you straight from the hill in Washington, D.C. And ladies, take it away.
Hey guys, it is Apple Daniels coming to you from sunny Sacramento, California. It is almost 100 degrees out here. We are officially burning up in May, so no telling what the summer's going to look like, but hey, we're here, we're blessed, and glad to be here.
Hey everybody, it is Shanta Flowers, the Southern Belle, coming to you from Atlanta,
Sure, a
Georgia.
very passionate conversation all around, from the
Oh,
hot
what's
topic
that?
to the actual topic that we're going to talk about today. So I'm
Mm,
going to let the ladies introduce themselves. My name is Monet.
is
I'm
that
the mama
somebody?
coming to you straight from the hill in Washington, D.C. And ladies,
Whoa,
take it away.
where is that?
I think it's you, Shanta, because I know you just muted yourself, so I think it was you. But anyway, while we figure that out, Shanta is on the live fire, so it might be that she has our site up and she's ready to talk to you. So please, as the time is going on and we're having this conversation, please chime in and give us your thoughts about the situation. So first up, we're going to talk about a heroic act that happened yesterday. I think it was yesterday. At least the video was posted yesterday, and a very near and dear family friend saved a little boy. Their cat actually saved their little boy, and if you go on YouTube, you can look up "Cat Saved My Son," and you'll find the video of a neighbor's dog actually that came into their yard and pulled a 4-year-old boy off of his tricycle while he was playing. It was very traumatic to see as a mother of a son who was 3, and it was very just seeming out of character for a dog, especially of that breed, to do so. Ladies, what do you think about this, and how can we protect our children from these random things that happen?
Um, I don't even know if there's a way to protect your kid. I mean, because if you watch the video, how it happened was just crazy in itself. Like, the little boy is just playing on his bike, the mom is watering the plants. I mean, there's nothing abnormal going on here. He wasn't in the street, he wasn't, far away, he was in his driveway, in his home, and the way everything was positioned, I can see my own house, because that's kind of how my car sits in the driveway. That's where my yard is, and I could totally see, like, like where the cameras were positioned. Like, it just reminded me of my own setup of my house. And I think about my kids being outside playing, not really worried about anything. And then the dog comes down the street and he just all of a sudden attacks the boy. It's not like you saw this vicious dog coming. I mean, he's just trotting down the street like normal dogs, sees a little boy, comes around and just starts attacking him. And I was listening to the Today Show this morning, and they said that the mom thought that at first the dog was playing with the boy because it's the neighbor's dog. So she thought, oh, he's just playing with the boy. He has he has his pants or something like that. Turned out it was the boy's leg. I mean, the gash was all the way to the meat. But thank God for that cat. That cat, you got me reconsidering. I have a dog. I might need a cat, because that cat came out of nowhere and like just charged the dog, ran the dog off, ran around the car at the dog, like, don't come back here, and then there's a point in the video where it looks like the mom left the boy and was running away, but she wasn't. She was actually running to the other side to stop the dog from coming back, and you can see the cat take after the mom like, oh, heck no. So yeah, that just, the cat itself was amazing, but as a parent, like you're saying, Monet, it's completely scary. I don't know that there's a way to protect your kids. I mean, obviously, if you see a dog coming, you're like, okay, come here, let me bring you in closer. But a situation like that where you're just in your yard and it's so unexpected, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because I know on one of our previous shows, we had talked about this article that this professor put out about the fact that, you know, parents are a little too involved in their children, you know, play and outdoor activity. Children need time for free play, and they don't need to be supervised all the time like we do now. Like, you know, obviously, I'm sure you all know and experience growing up, it was not like that before. You know, your parents would send you outside, the kids on the block, they would, you know, they would all get together, everybody would watch out for one another. It was just a different thing. And so when things like this happen, this is a testament as to why parents have to be so watchful. Because, I mean, neighbor's dog comes into your yard, you would never think that it would attack, especially the type of dog it was. And I believe that was a lab chow mix.
Yeah.
Those types of dogs usually protect children and are very loving to children. And so it's just so out of, I mean, the whole thing was just so random. And when you see the video and you see how the dog is just trotting along the fence and then perks its head up as if it was taking after, like it was about to like go get, like almost like when you see the Discovery Channel or Nat Geo, and you see like the animals out in the wild and they're going after their prey. It was kind of like that. He just like, just all of a sudden, he was just trotting along the fence, minding his own business, and all of a sudden his head just perks up. And then he goes, you know, and you can see he picks up speed, and he runs around the car, and then as soon as he spots the little boy, he charges at him. And it's just very odd. The whole thing was just very odd. And like you said, Apple, I don't know that there is a way that, you know, he could have been protected from the situation. I mean, he was in his yard, and his mother was obviously, because of, you know, from the time that you see the boy being attacked to the time that his mother gets to him, you see that she wasn't that far away. So it's just one of those things that's just so freaky, but thank God he is okay.
Yeah, and they were saying that, I mean, the dog is only 8 months old, so a young dog. So not only a typically non-aggressive breed, you know, even for a mix, but then on top of that, it's a baby. You know, the dog itself is a baby, and it's really unfortunate because now what they're saying is they have to quarantine the dog. They may have to put the dog down. They can't give the dog to an adoption agency because now the dog has a history of biting, a history of violence. So if they adopt this dog out to another family and this happens to a child or anyone, then the city can be sued because they knew the history of the dog. So now it's just like, you know, the neighbor voluntarily turned the dog in. So obviously the neighbor didn't know. I mean, everybody in the situation is just like, what happened? I mean, did the dog see something, smell something? Because the child was in no way, shape, or form throwing anything, you know, completely minded his own business. The dog actually wasn't even, the child wasn't even facing the direction that the dog was coming. The child was facing his home initially. So it's just really weird. But it was funny. There's another marketer, and I won't say his name, I'll tell you guys after, but there's another marketer who made a comment on Facebook, and he said something like, what did he say? He was like, 2 things would happen in my house. I can't remember what the first thing was. He said something about like, you know, my child, I would have picked the child up because it looks like the mom didn't pick the child up. He said something like, I would have picked the child up. And he was like, secondly, the dog would be with Jesus. Like, really simple. Like, the neighbor wouldn't have had to turn the dog in because the dog would have been with Jesus. Like, at the end of the day, there would have been no conversation. And I agree. Like, I'm, you know, I'm not for no violence, but I probably would have choked that dog with my bare hands. Like, you know.
It would have been like, what's that cartoon, All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Right.
The dog just would have been out of here, especially with my husband. It would have been like, just no, you know, it's shoot first, ask questions later, because the kid was involved. So, and that's humans or anybody that's out there, think about messing with my kid. Shoot first, I'll talk about it later.
Crazy.
I don't even like cats, but this made me like cats. I was like, well, okay, maybe they're useful because I've always been, I'm just not a cat person because they just slinky and they always creeping around and something was
But
always.
that brought up the issue of declawing your cat, because then people who have cats say, well, should I declaw my cat because I have kids? And, I've seen videos where cats have, got into it with kids and, they've got whatever, and you scratch a kid's face. So they had that argument. But now you think, well, do I declaw my cat? Because what if that cat wouldn't have had any claws? Because I'm sure that's what made the dog run. I'm pretty sure.
I think you can't win with any of it. I think, and that's almost in life. It's always well, should I? I mean, because obviously there are plenty of dogs that have saved kids too. So just because it's one dog attacked this kid, lots of dogs attack kids too. But you know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean you can't have a dog as a pet or that dogs are gonna. It's so crazy and weird how you're supposed to do. And like to go back to the question about Monet about what can you do? Nothing.
Yeah.
The best that you can. The best that you can. Because
pray for your kids. Pray for the safety.
Right.
Yeah. Especially in a situation like that, when they're in your home. I mean, or whatever, and they're you guys are. It's different. Like Apple said, had he been like in the street, somewhere else or doing something else. But I mean, what better place than what if it was a Willy Wonka party, Monet, and then there's some dog come running through in the backyard. You did what you could to protect the kids. That's all you could do is what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like anything else is just like freak accident-ish type of thing.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I had a moon bounce, and I don't know if you guys heard about the moon bounce that went 50 feet in the air and dropped the kids.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't actually gone and looked it up. I heard it on the radio, but I think maybe that could be one of our hot topics coming up. I'll find out some more information about that and share it with you. But it is important when you do have a moon bounce in your yard to follow the instructions.
But was there like a tornado or was it high winds or something like that?
Yeah, they tell you not to put them up when winds, I think, are over 20 or 30 miles per hour or something like that. It might even be less than that. I got to check that information. But they tell you when there's high winds, don't put the moon bounces up. So, and since then, there's been some other incidences that have surfaced, videos that have surfaced on YouTube of other incidences where moon bounces have been taken up.
I'm not going to lie, those things have never looked safe to me, honestly. I would rather, we have a place out here called the Bounce Spot. Like, seriously, I would rather just take the kids there and let them have a party for 2 hours. You're indoors. They have all the moon bounces and caves and stuff you can go in. And, let's go there.
It's so funny. So we just interjected another hot topic while we were talking there, but we got to get on to the next one, which is super cool. And I know this is going to be a long conversation because we've all kind of been in the scoop with this, and I'm sure you probably have too. If you haven't, then you probably live under a rock. But one of our, well, I'm not going to say our, but a lot of people beloved power couple, J and B, or known as Jay-Z and Beyonce, had an interesting altercation after the Met Gala in New York the other evening. Her sister got on the elevator with the couple and proceeded to attack her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, Jay-Z, and it was all caught on tape because obviously we know that there's surveillance cameras in buildings, elevators, hallways. So it is very interesting. The gentleman there that's doing surveillance, watching the security cameras, got it all on tape, and TMZ got their hands on it, and it's been very interesting ever since. There's been a lot of speculation going on as to what the argument was about, why she was so upset, and why Jay-Z actually ended up leaving in a separate car. So, ladies, what do you think about this, and what have you heard about the situation?
Let me just get this out. Got to. So, look, right? So, okay. So, I'm going to play both sides of the fence. All right. So, first of all, from what it appears as if Jay-Z did not start a physical altercation with her. Okay? Appears that way. So, it's kind of like, number one, Solange need to be happy that he didn't lay her down. Because after all that she was doing to him, if it was me and I saw a videotape of my son getting the business like that, I would have been like, dude, for real. it goes to, like, let me tell you, and this might be a whole nother hot topic, but Whoopi Goldberg had to release a statement today because of something she said on The View about this situation. And she said basically that when you hit somebody, no matter who you are, they have the right to hit you back. Gender goes out of the window because people have the right to defend themselves regardless of gender, is basically what she was saying. And I have to say that I'm in total agreement with that. So when I saw that, no matter what he did or who he was cheating on or what was happening, number one, he ain't cheating on her. And I get you being, protective of your sister. I get that, me too. And he wasn't. Now, the one about the fact that the rumor about if he hit the sister, yeah, I kind of get, you know what I mean, or whatever, especially if you saw it or something and you're protecting your sister. But just because you seen something, heard something, did something, and you get in the elevator and you go all in on somebody, it's kind of like at the end of the day, she ended up being the one that looked crazy. She looked crazy. And he could have been dead wrong, but she looked like the nut job fool. And he did himself such a great job by just holding her foot and not hitting her back. Because had that happened, it would have been nut central. So, I mean, I just kind of am like, Solange, you can't just go in there and hit people. And then Beyonce just, she's supposed to be the baddest bee and all these other things. And she was back there like, I don't want y'all to tear my dress, all of this. I'm like, I want to tell her, girl, take them gold teeth out your mouth. You fronting. She don't want none of that fight. So anyway.
Well, let me say this. I think when I saw it, because I have a little sister that, now I'm hot-tempered. I won't lie. I'm hot-tempered. I can go from 0 to 60 like that. I got a mouth and it don't quit. Like when I'm there, I'm there. And you ain't nobody gonna say nothing you ain't gonna keep me quiet. You're not gonna talk over me. You're not gonna none of that. I'm gonna wanna fight. I'm like that. So having a little sister who's a little more, as we say in Cali, hyphier than me, I can totally see like that happening. Like when I saw it, I instantly thought of my little sister, and I was like, I could really see this going down in the elevator. Like somebody did something, and she didn't just lost her mind, and she just took off on a person. I do commend Jay-Z for holding it together because I saw the video from 1990 something where he slapped the girl up backstage. I saw that video. The one that everybody's like, oh, it was rumored that he once slapped a girl up. No, it wasn't a rumor. It was for real. I saw the video. He did. He gave her a good one. So he's changed, and I commend him for that. But it could also be maybe not that he's changed, because I don't think any of us could go up kicking and slapping him like that. I think it's because that's his sister-in-law, and at the end of the day, it's a family matter, and you treat family a little differently. We could sit here and we could say that she's not justified, she shouldn't have did this, but I've been at family functions where it's gotten heated and cousins have gotten to it, or uncles have gotten into it, or brothers have gotten into it, and they mad for a night, they mad for a week, and then tomorrow they love each other. I think it's a big deal for us because of who it is, and we never really see them interact, outside of the perfect little celebrity, deal that they have going on. But to me, I was like, man, it's just some family drama that, just happened to get caught on tape, and, it is what it is.
It did. It just showed that they were like everybody else.
Right.
Well, I have to say that I think Jay-Z is very smart because he, I'm sure, was aware that he was being taped. And that's
or possibly.
Huh?
Or possibly. But if this is a hotel where there's a ton of celebrities, they probably knew they were being taped, like you said.
Exactly. So, I mean, but we all know there's surveillance cameras in elevators. Like, everybody knows that. So, at least you should. Newsflash, you know now, okay? So, I think that he was aware of that, and that's the only reason he didn't retaliate. I truly believe that. Because I believe that if he knew that he was in a place where he would not be seen, he might have retaliated. Because she was kicking and all throwing and all was going on. So,
on one part, it looked like she spit on him, and that's
I heard that she did, but see, now here's my thing: that kind of anger, you did something. There's absolutely no. I'm not saying she's right, but I'm just saying that you don't come at somebody with that kind of rage I'm not saying that he hit Beyonce. I mean, there's all kind of rumors that maybe he doesn't physically abuse her. Maybe he verbally, mentally abuses her and makes her feel like she needs him. Like, oh, well, you couldn't have got past Destiny's Child if it wasn't for me. And, you know, you might be the baddest, whatever, singing-wise, but there's other females out here. And then the other rumor was that first it was about Rihanna, like something about Rihanna's party. But then the rumor was that him and Rachel Roy, who was Dame Dash's ex-wife, were getting a little too cozy, and that he planned to go to Rihanna's after party with Rachel Roy without his wife. And so that was then the issue. It had involved either Rihanna or the Rachel chick. But let me say something about Rachel Roy. She's from Seaside, and I've met quite a few women living in the Bay that are from Seaside, and everyone that I've met is either super ratchet or will stomp a mud hole in you. It don't matter how light-skinned, how pretty, how skinny, how thick, how this. It's just something about chicks from Seaside that I've met. Now, I haven't met all of them, but everyone I've met has either been super ratchet or they will stomp you with no problem. So Solange running up on Rachel Roy, she might want to watch out. Like, don't be fooled, because I've heard that Rachel Roy ain't no punk. Like, you take this fashion designer thing and all that all you want to, but I've heard that girl will stomp you. No problems. No questions asked, no nothing.
Well, it should be very interesting to see how things unfold for days to come.
I don't think we're gonna know because they're so mum. Well, they've already returned back to normal. And
I think this situation has shed some light on what I've always believed, and that their relationship is very much a PR move. Because when they came out with Bonnie and Clyde in about like 2003 time frame, and there was all this stuff that came out about him and Rihanna, you know, hooking up and being together and all this other stuff. And then, you know, she came out with her album that had all kinds of songs on it that sounded like she was telling him, you ain't irreplaceable, you know, that sort of thing. And then they ended up getting married, and Rihanna went off with Chris Brown, but then now she's totally back in the mix because I just heard that she signed with Jay-Z's label like some days prior. So it's like,
well, Rihanna is Jay-Z's artist. She always has been.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, you know. I mean, they've done tours together, and you know, so it's been rumored for years that him and Rihanna were doing, you know, something on the low. And actually, a friend of mine said that Wendy Williams dropped some real good tea about it. I didn't get to watch the clip.
Honey, Wendy Williams said it was like 20 minutes. I was like, you can't be serious. Nobody got time for all this. It's long, but you can't watch it.
Is it long?
Yeah, it's long. I just want people to. This is always my thing. It's because they're such high influences, and this is something that's supposed to be kept private. So it's not. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm just saying that we're watching, and I don't want our young ladies. This is coming from a mom to think that let me go and this is how we do, and I'm mad at him and I'm finna just go haul off because everybody ain't gonna be Jay-Z. Everybody not gonna just hold your foot. And if you go spitting on and slapping on some men, somebody gonna slap you back. So I'm just saying, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Slapped and choked and everything else. Please, ladies, do not understand that this was a situation that was out of the ordinary. It was between a brother and a sister, but all brothers ain't like that. Some brothers will still slap the mess out their sisters. Don't put your hands on a man. Men, don't put your hands on women. Everybody,
don't put your hands on nobody unless you want to unless you want hands put on you. Let's just say that, you know, you have to. I have to put that disclaimer because my husband has had to two-piece somebody, and let me say I'm a wife, and I was behind. I was right behind that move. I was like, hit her, yes. So because you know he's in law enforcement, and a lady was like hauling off. At the end of the day, my husband gonna come home. You're not gonna die because that was a woman. Right. She hauling off and running after him, trying to grab his gun. She tried to grab his gun to take it off of him to get him, and he pop to get her off of him. And I was like, absolutely. And I said, and I'm saying this on national webinar. So.
And I'm clapping.
Right. This is just the truth. So I know that a lot of people follow these women. So that's why I said that, because, you know, you don't want women to go thinking it's cool, because I saw a lot of comments afterward. I know we have to move on. That people were saying, look how she just went and fought him and she was still cute afterward. Like, people think it's cute. And I'm like, you don't know that altercation now. Don't think this cute. This isn't just cute. And everybody hair not going to fall back in place. She got people like, stop. Y'all stop before y'all just.
I
Yeah.
mean, and honestly, I mean, you don't know. There are some Ike Turners out there. Like Tina couldn't have pulled that move,
No.
and neither could Tina's dancers. They couldn't have pulled that move, and the ones that tried got slapped up. I mean,
they would have been on the floor eating cake.
look, I mean, and we're kind of lightweight, joking about it and keeping it light. But I think
By Jay-Z.
everyone needs to keep their hands to themselves.
Okay, we sorry. This could have been a whole topic, y'all. Y'all knew it was gonna get hot.
I knew it was, and that's why I said this is going to be long. Okay, so, but
We're
this
done.
is a good segue into what we're going to discuss for today's topic. And we got a few minutes, so we're going to jump into it for these last few minutes. And the reason why all of this, from the Cat video to the Jay-Z Beyonce video, why have these things made headlines? Because of the internet and social media and the firestorm that happens when these things get released. So we want to talk to you all today about what age is appropriate to allow your children to start experiencing social media. What age is appropriate to allow your children to have Facebook pages and communicate with their friends on Instagram and these different things. Because I feel like it's getting younger and younger that our children are being exposed to these things. And so when is it too young to allow your children to be exposed to these things, ladies?
I'm gonna let y'all go first because you have kids that are older than mine, so I'll go last.
Look, my kids are only 6 and 3, and you know, okay, let me say this. This is a perfect conversation, actually. So my son, Aiden, who we talked about before, one of the twins, has autism. And so he has been playing with iPads and tablets. That was part of his therapy, even before the other kids got tablets. So, you know, the kids have tablets now, and Aiden, who reads at 2nd grade level, knows how to go to the internet. He knows how to go to certain sites. So lately, he's been going to YouTube. Not to watch anything in particular. Obviously, he doesn't have a Facebook page, and I don't suspect that they'll have one until they're probably like, I don't know, 14, 15, if it's even around then or whatever. But he goes to YouTube, and he's not watching anything. He's watching cartoons. So he's typing in, you know, Pooh-Yoos and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and different things like that. Even though I've downloaded the apps, he's still, like, for whatever, fascinated with the fact that he can go to the internet. My issue is not so much that he's going to YouTube and he's watching the videos, because I'm right there and most of the stuff that he's watching is okay. My issue is the related videos.
Yes.
And I said this to his counselors. Like, I don't care about YouTube. I care about the related videos and the content that's on the side and what he may be exposed to inadvertently just by looking at Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, or clicking on a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse video, and you know, you have those ones where you're watching the normal video and you think it's a normal video, and then the guy pops out and scares the crap out of you. Something like that. You know, I mean, you just don't know. There's so much out there, and there's really no way to control it. And I've tried to delete YouTube from his tablet. I can't delete YouTube from his tablet. Like, I got to go into the settings and really figure this thing out, because it's one of the things that I've been talking about, or we've been dealing with for like the last couple of weeks, is how do we keep him off of there, you know, and just really re-encourage him to, okay, you want to look at Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Let me get you the app. You know, they have Netflix, and it's restricted, so they can only get into the kids' shows, but that's been an issue in my house. You know, I don't foresee like a Facebook or Twitter being an issue for years, but that daggone YouTube, it's a thorn in my side right now.
Yeah. You know, I have to say that when I first had my daughter, who was also 6, I was like on everybody. Like, don't post her picture on Facebook. Like, I'm not posting her picture on Facebook. Like, don't play with me. I better not catch my daughter's picture all over the internet. And I was like, I was that mom. Like, I was not playing about it. And I would have people take it down. Like, if I would catch you, you would be taking it down. Because I have a issue with people who are preying on children through the internet, or try to, you know, look around and snoop around and figure out where you live or where you go to frequently or whatever, to snatch your kid. Like, that was you know, my big thing about exposing you know, the kids even on the internet. Maybe not exposing them to the internet, but exposing kids on the internet. Like, I had a serious issue with that because I think that pedophiles and people, you know, really try to exploit the fact that people want to share their kids' photos with their friends and family that may be in other states, and, you know, they somehow get access to it. I was talking to somebody, and they were saying how, you know, their kid ended up in some weird ad, like their picture ended up in some weird ad that they had no idea their picture was in, or something like that. I mean, just crazy stuff that happened. So I was really, really big on that. I have since then, you know, relaxed that, just because of, like I was saying, I want to be able to share, you know, my kids' pictures with friends and family that are, you know, maybe not see them as frequently, or in other states or other countries for that matter. And so, you know, it's like, it's almost like a catch-22. It's like, what do you do? It's like, either it's really like an all or nothing thing. Either you're putting your kids out there, you're exposing them to the internet, or you're not, and you're keeping them in a box. And I think that, excuse my dog, I think that it's difficult. It really is. It's difficult to figure out where that balance is, where that happy medium is. And as far as like an age of when, I would have to say, Apple, I'm right in line with what you said. I think when they're a teenager, I can understand why they would want to, you know, use social media. But even then, I think it's important for us to have parental controls and things on some of these sites, and different things like that, and different search criteria that they can search for.
Absolutely.
Well, at best, I mean, their passwords, you know, not that I want to go snooping, but yeah, I want to snoop, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, I need passwords.
Like, you know, if you're not 18 and you're on these social media sites, you should have no problem with me having your password. I'm not going to be all in your business every single day, like every single minute of the day. But if I want to do a random, what is that thing the police do, a random search and whatever, then I should be able to do that. And you should have anything on there that you feel like I shouldn't see. Yeah. You know, I mean,
I think for me, like, yeah, I definitely would need passwords. But not only that, like, I know a lot of people who, like, aren't friends with their kids or with their parents. Oh, you're gonna be friends with me. We're gonna follow each other. We're gonna be friends, because when they send it to you, I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be anything. You shouldn't even feel that any conversations or anything that you're posting or pictures that you're posting are so inappropriate that your mom can't see it. That you wouldn't want me involved. And I think that definitely, like you guys said, it would have to be, you know, into high school at some point. And if that's lame, then sorry, you're not like everybody else. That's 98%. You're a 2%er, and that's not what we do. Because you don't. What do you guys think about the parents? And this is no judgment, anybody that's watching. This is just our conversation. A lot of parents I see are creating social media pages and their own such and such for their kids. What do you think about that? Like, somebody will have a kid and they will get them their own, like, page, you know, get them their own Instagram, or they'll get them their own, like, what do you think the point is of that? Like, why, number one?
Now, I will say that I did create another Instagram for my kids, but I have their privacy settings closed, so and I only invited family, and if you request it somehow, you find it, and so you can't see anything. You know, you can't see any of the pictures. And the reason why I did that is because as a business owner, as a marketer, I want to be able to keep my Instagram open. There are certain pictures that I may share of my kids, but a lot of times I don't want to share it on my Instagram just because it is so open. And if I close my Instagram, then I'm closing my business. But if I open my Instagram and I have my kids there, then it's not like Facebook. You know, Instagram is way more open than Facebook. I can't really see what's going on. I would never get my kids a like page on Facebook. A closed Instagram I can deal with. I had an issue where I thought about getting them a blog, but I don't want to do that either, just because I can't really close the privacy settings.
Well, I was just going to say that. I did that. You can't close, I mean, but nobody can see it, or nobody's searching, I think, for that. Like Shutterfly, you can get a free family site. It's called a family share site.
Okay.
You can put in the, and this is for everybody, resource, ching, Shutterfly. It's a family share site, and you can, it's really cool. You can type in it, you can share pictures, and you can put in the email addresses, or those people can sign up, or the people who need to receive updates. So they'll receive an update when there is an update. But it's kind of like something where you can write and whatever, and it's not quote unquote like social media like that. It's just an extension of your Shutterfly site that's more.
That's what my daughter's class uses. So all the pictures
what I'm
that the teacher takes and the school takes, they put them up on there, and only the parents in the class can access it, or parents, or teachers that work for the school.
So that's definitely an option. My kids had a website. The twins had a website when they were first born. My mom created it, and it was cute, you know, for a while. I know I have a cousin that does that with his kids. I think theirs is just a blogger type situation. But for me, most of the time, I mean, I'm not really writing blogs and updates. Most of the time, I'm just posting like pictures and videos. You know, here's so-and-so at school, like we had super fun, or check out this video, this is really funny, he thinks he's working out with mommy. You know, like the one that I had where he was, I don't know if you saw it, Shanta, where he was like doing Shanti and he was punching.
Hilarious.
You know? Yeah, so I mean, stuff like that. And I did put that on my main account, but a lot of that stuff now goes on their
account.
It just goes on their own account, and only the family has it. You know, family and friends, and I approve everybody, and I get to see who has access and who's following them and
who's following them. That's cool. I guess most things that I haven't updated that site that I was talking about in a while. I need to, but most things I put on pretty much my own site, because to me, I feel like you have to go through me. And what I mean by that is, if you're gonna make a comment, I see it. And I don't have to check all this other stuff, you know. And my rule for social media with my kid is I just don't post things that I wouldn't want them to see. Except this one, I did post when Chance was potty training. I had to, and so because it was hilarious, and he's like crying, and he's on the potty like, and it's hilarious, and so I had to post that. But I don't really have a phobia or a scare of people trying to find us. Like for me, that would be like fear based. I would always be looking and wondering. So I don't really do that. I post my kids. A lot of marketers and business people, if you're any business moms that are watching, are actually against that, and that's cool. That's judgment. The reason I don't is because I actually market myself as mom first. That's who I am. I am a mom who does X. And so if you follow me and you want to work with me, you know that about me. It's not some people are amazing, and they are maybe marketing geniuses or WordPress geniuses or something, and that's how they market themselves. I market myself as a mom who wants to have a healthy family, and this is how I do that, so this is how I do X. Or a mom who's also a blogger, who's also, you know, so you know that.
But I think that comes into when you talk about, like, I mean, not to get into a business conversation, but that also comes with your why. Like, because I'm like you, like, the reason why I even started doing business, the reason why I even considered leaving corporate and becoming a work-at-home mom was because I had twins. And then one of my twins got autism, and then I had another baby. So at the basis of why I'm even doing this, no matter what I know about WordPress, no matter what I know about this, no matter what type of income I've made here, or here, at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm even on this hangout right now, you know, the only reason why I'm even at home sitting on my couch right now is because I have kids and I wanted to do X, Y, Z to be able to be there for them. So I think a healthy balance, you know, of posting pictures. I post some stuff, and then there's some stuff that I'm like, I think twice, and I go, no, I'm not going to post that.
Right.
You know, I may put that on their private account, or I may just not post it at all, and it just sits in my phone.
You know, I think that my issue with updating frequently with kid pages or whatever, I don't have a problem with parents creating kid pages if it's for the purposes of you know, sharing things with family and friends, and you have a lot of privacy options in Facebook. I mean, if they come up with any more privacy options, you probably won't be able to find anybody's page anymore. But you know, so there's lots of privacy options in Facebook and on other sites, and like Shanta said, Shutterfly and different things. So you can block people from finding you, seeing you, what have you. If you're using it for, like, and you're not blocking it, and you're using it for, like, let's say your kid wants to start their own business, they want to make jewelry or bracelets and something like that, and they want to promote themselves. I have no problem with that. You know, they're 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? You're you know, helping them with their entrepreneurial spirit. That's great. I have an issue, though, with parents that constantly post their kids and post, oh, we're here at such and such.
I hate that.
We're at such and such. And I think that's where you get into that realm of, okay, now you're putting the kid in danger because everybody always knows where they're at. So if somebody did stumble upon something that you were doing with the internet and they did want to have malicious intent, you know, they could very well figure out where your kid is because you're always saying where they're at. So that would be my only concern in the constant, you know, letting kids post where they're at, where they're going, that sort of thing. But other than that, I think it's okay as long as you're responsible.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying with that. Like, I never check in. If I check in, it's pretty much at the time that I'm getting ready to leave. Like, if I post a picture and you see me check in and I say, like, for instance, this morning, and I know this isn't my kid, but say, for instance, hold on. Say, for instance, this morning, if I decide to say, like, I was stuck in traffic and I was stuck on the exit coming off of the freeway from dropping the kids off, and so I'm trying to get home, I'm on my exit, and there's a ton of traffic. It took me 10 minutes to get off of the exit to my house, and this is not a huge exit. And so I posted a status, and I basically said, like, I can't believe I'm, you know, on this exit for 10 minutes, blah, 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 blah. You know, aren't you guys supposed to be at work at 8 or 8:30? I cracked a little joke about it. And I tagged myself on the freeway. I didn't tag myself on the exit. I tagged myself on just the general freeway, but it was pretty much at the point where I was no longer on the freeway. And so I kind of do that for my, like, if I'm somewhere with the kids as well, we're at a picnic, I might say, like, oh, we had a great day at so-and-so park. But it's way after the fact that we've left. And even with that, sometimes I think, okay, well, I don't want to post that because this is too close to my house. You know, I might do it if I'm out of town, but I wouldn't do it at the park around the corner necessarily. And never at their school either. That's a no-no.
Monet, you're muted, but before we go, because we're wrapping up, I just wanted to know one thing. You're the only one that has a girl.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of wondering, what are your thoughts as far concerns, whatever, as far as having a girl with social media, because we all know that it's very different, girl versus boy. I mean, boys, they might be shooting up stuff, throwing mud on the wall, whatever. And girls, you're talking about the selfies. You're not really worried about boys and the selfies and showing too much and doing all that, but girls, yes. So tell me, what do you kind of think your plan is? What is your fear concern? I'm just wondering, as a girl mom, to as far as all that stuff.
Yes, that is actually a very legitimate question. I'm sorry, my dogs are like going crazy over here, so that's why I was on mute. But you know, it's interesting because again, it's like what I was saying earlier about there's that fine line, like all or nothing. Either you're in a box or you're, you know, it's like you can't put kids in a bubble, but it's like, you know, you're aware that, you know, things like, you know, inappropriate pictures and, you know, different things, you know, men, you know, wanting to meet up with them somewhere, or, you know, those types of things. It happens, and you just, I guess, have to make sure that your children are aware of these things and know what to do when they are faced with these situations. And I will say that an organization that I belong to put on a anti-bullying event for the kids in the area very recently, 2 months ago. And at this anti-bullying event, they talked to the teenagers especially about cyberbullying. And it was interesting because I think it was like maybe a month later after this event had happened that one of the young men of one of the moms that I know, he actually experienced it, and it was very scary. I mean, his Facebook page, they were sending him messages with death threats and bullets and pictures of bullets and all kinds of other stuff. And so the mom, you know, caught wind of it because the son came and told her. And I cannot stress that enough, of being aware of what your children are going through, because he felt comfortable enough to go and tell his mom immediately. And so she got right on it. She called the lady who put on the anti-bullying event because she knew that she had some connections with the local law enforcement and everything, and they got involved immediately, and they found out that it was a case of mistaken identity. So it wasn't even directed at him, yet had it not been dealt with, who knows what would have happened. So, I mean, whether it's boys or girls, it just across the board, you just have to make sure that you prepare your children, because unfortunately, internet and technology make things so, readily available, so easy for us to access information and stuff, and it's very much needed. But people use it to do wrong, and it's just unfortunate. It really is, and you just have to prepare your children.
Wow. Yeah, that's good stuff, y'all.
So, ladies, thank you all for having this conversation and for talking about J&B. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more from them. And our thoughts and prayers are with the mom of the son in California who was attacked by the dog, and we pray that he will be back on his feet and healthy and well, and his leg will heal and all that good stuff. And next week on the show, we want to see you back here with us and be on the live fire and be as chatty as we are. So thank you all for joining us today. And remember all week, always be a mommy inspired. Take care.
Bye.